Woe to you of earth and sea.
Welcome to Satan is My Superhero, a show for atheists, scoffers, heathens, and unbelievers. I'm your host, Judas Falling. In this episode, we're going down to the crossroad, fall to our knees, beg for mercy, please, and sell our soul for musical greatness.
Worship Satan, of course.
If you're my age, you were probably introduced to the legend of Robert Johnson by the same cultural icon that introduced our generation to the finer and more nuanced philosophy of Asian tradition.
Ralph Macchio.
In his classic 1986 film Crossroads, Ralph is, well, to be honest, he's a bit of a douchey mama's boy with a very punchable face, and because of this, he gets bullied by the local thugs. He meets an older mentor-type character, and after a wax-on, wax-off montage, he battles guitar virtuoso Steve Vai for his immortal soul, beating him in the end with a signature crane kick.
Almost none of that was accurate. Forget about punchable Ralph and tell us about the actual topic of this episode, Crossroad Blues.
Released in 1937, many like to believe Crossroad Blues depicts the moment its singer-songwriter Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil.
He might have embellished his resume a little bit if you ask me.
The lyric more likely describes the angst an African-American gentleman may feel standing on the road trying to catch a lift before the sun goes down in 1930's Deep South.
It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen?
But let's not poop all over the devil angle straight away. We've got to turn this into an entire mini-episode somehow. Why do people believe Johnson sold his soul to the devil? Well,
In a nutshell.
the most common story is he went away for a couple of years, and when he returned, his musical prowess had dramatically improved. This narrative implies African Americans in the Deep South didn't know about dedication and practice, so Johnson's community assumed he sold his soul. It's
Problematic.
and almost certainly
Bullshit.
Personally, not only do I think he didn't sell his soul, well, obviously I don't think he sold his soul, but I don't think there was even a story that he sold his soul in his hometown while he was alive.
O.M.G.
I think it's a myth created a long time after his death. Interestingly, the exact same myth also surrounds blues musician Tommy Johnson. No relation. But you can see where an over-enthusiastic white blues fan might conflate the two men many years later.
I couldn't possibly be racist. I have hashtag BLM in my Twitter bio, so yeah.
Now, while the lyrics to Crossroad Blues are unconvincing as evidence of a Faustian contract, Robert Johnson did record the songs
Hellhound on My Trail, and Me and the Devil Blues.
Hellhound on My Trail could be about anything. It runs like a streaming conscious improv recording session. It goes from lyrics about a hellhound, to Christmas, to hot foot powder, to leaves trembling on a tree.
What's that song about?
It's up to the listener to interpret the art in their own way.
You don't know, do you?
Not a clue.
Johnson's haunted, tortured voice and the weirdness of the lyrics do add to the creepiness of the track. Eric Clapton, who has covered Johnson's songs his whole career, recorded an entire album of songs by the man in 2004 called
Me and Mr. Johnson.
Sounds like a porno to me.
In regards to Hellhound on My Trail, old Slowhand had this to say.
When I was younger, Hellhound used to frighten me. When I listened to it, the idea that he was really singing about being pursued by demons was too much for me. Can I have the night light on? I'm scared.
Have you been listening to those old blues records before bed again?
Yes.
You should know better by now. You're 47, for crying out loud.
Me and the Devil Blues is more straightforward and seems to be talking about being evil. One of the lines is,
I'm going to beat my woman until I get satisfied.
so that one's pretty to the point, and these two songs combined with Crossroad Blues add to the Robert Johnson myth.
That's right, he sold his soul so he could be mentioned in a post-Karate Kid Ralph Macchio movie 50 years after his death.
You bet!
Wank, 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 wank,
Wanky pranked! Along with Clapton, Robert Johnson has had an influence on prominent white musicians Keith Richards, Jimmy Page, and Jack White. Bob Dylan once said,
When Johnson started singing, he seemed like a guy who could have sprung from the head of Zeus in full armor.
He really has a way with words, that guy.
How was the meal, Mr. Dillon?
You tell that chef they're the empty-handed painter from your streets drawing crazy patterns on your sheets.
So no tip then?
No.
Another piece of mythos attached to Johnson many years after he died is the idea that he was the inaugural member of the 27 Club. The 27 Club is a group of famous musicians who have a J in their name, like Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Brian Jones, and Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, I hope Justin Bieber joins.
The 27 Club has nothing to do with the letter J.
Okay, it's actually about people who died at the age of 27.
No, I take it back, Justin.
This club also includes Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse, among others.
Ha-ha, Bieber's safe. He's already 28. In your face, 27 Club.
Unlike everyone else on the list, Johnson was a complete unknown during his lifetime. Almost everything we know about him was pieced together many years later, and we don't know how much of it is true.
Where you see a lack of information, some historians see an opportunity.
His death certificate gives no cause of death, but the two leading theories are syphilis or poisoning by a jealous cuckolded husband. There's no actual evidence for either theory. I think it's no coincidence both options only reinforce Johnson's reputation for a sinful hedonistic lifestyle.
Yo, I be ballin'. Yo, I be ballin'. I be ballin'. Yo, you heard me. I'm ballin'.
Now, you will be pleased to learn there is no significant statistical increase in the odds of your favourite rock star dying at 27.
These days, 27-year-old rock star just means washed up has-been. Sorry, Justin.
Professor Diana Kenny from the University of Sydney has crunched the numbers, and more famous musicians die at the age of 56 than any other age. TTs, are there any famous musicians turning 56 this year that I won't miss?
You know there are. You gave me a spreadsheet.
Just read the list.
Dave Matthews, Tim McGraw, Keith Urban, and Vanilla Ice.
Well, it is true I wouldn't miss them, but I certainly don't wish them any harm, and I hope they make it through the year. And I wish them all the very best in life. Just because I'm not a fan of their music doesn't mean they deserve any kind of ill will. You sure there isn't anyone else on that list?
Again, you know there is. You made the spreadsheet.
Well, who is it?
R. Kelly.
Well, it's true I wouldn't miss him. Now, when Professor Kenny's numbers were broken down over musical genres, blues musicians actually had the longest life expectancy.
Tell that to Robert Johnson.
The shortest life expectancy sadly belonged to hip-hop.
If you find yourself or a loved one rapping, beatboxing, sampling, DJing, or scratching up perfectly good vinyl, seek medical assistance immediately.
Hello there. It's the Holy Ghost here. Ooh. You are currently having a religious experience. The Lord wants you to give this podcast a 5-star rating. 5-star rating. 5-star rating.
So what can we glean from the legend of Robert Johnson and his deal with the devil made at the lonely crossroad in the middle of the night? I think this is myth and legend being invented right before your eyes. The truth is we know almost nothing about Robert Johnson. With a handful of intriguing recordings, overzealous pundits have created the rest.
Can we say he walked on water?
There's no one around to say he didn't.
Can we give him wings?
Let's put a pin in that for now and circle back later.
What about eyes that shoot laser beams?
Personally, I think the most important thing we've learned from the legend of Crossroad Blues is that you can sell your soul to the devil for some bodacious guitar licks.
Totally inappropriate guitar solo! Wow! Sing it with me, people!
Just another rock cliche song.
Just another rock cliche song. Put your hands in the air, baby, and sing along. Just another rock cliche another rock cliche song.
And that's why Satan is my superhero. If you've enjoyed this episode, rate, review, subscribe, you know the deal. But please do go check out the website, satanismysuperhero.com, where you will find links to the merch store, our Patreon page, and all our social medias.
Here are the Zoomers hearing Crossroad Blues for the first time.
This microphone sounds extremely high quality.
Very it goes high pitched, then very low. It's
Just hear constant static.
I'm sure this guy didn't just record this in his garage.
That's what he said in the song. He went.
Does this guy have any musical talent?
When the hell was this produced? The American Civil War?
I'm mainly interested in the video because they just have random pictures of feet and then it suddenly cuts to Robert Johnson.
There's a total of one instrument and one voice in this song.
Okay, now they're showing pictures of angels having sex.
What is he saying?
I could tell it was old. Yeah, this song is old. It was posted in 2007.
I'm inside your head right now.
And I'll be honest, it's pretty disgusting.
If you want to avoid the Spirit of the Lord causing you to yell all your dirtiest, most embarrassing thoughts at your boss at work tomorrow, give this podcast that 5-star rating. Star rating. Star.
You know the thoughts I'm talking about.